filled with rage and heat.
Rageful heat. Got it.
Why? What? Why? The light? It looks lower now. Yeah, it looks better.
Okay, my feet are hot as I'm just going through some shit. Um, all right. Are we live somewhere?
Yes. Right before your feet are hot comment. Feet are hot, going through some shit.
Well, now the people will know anyway. So,
They're so hot. All right.
how hot are they?
My menopause ladies will get it. Like a bear in the woods. All
Is that
right.
what you're going through? I don't know. I thought you couldn't do that. I don't know.
Menopause and
I
the
really, I try
feelings
to
of a
stay out of
bear.
the lady business
Yeah.
period. I
Oh
really,
yeah. No, I know you were involved in some non conversations or which is awesome. Oh, I'm gonna have to throw this puppy some ice cubes occasionally. So here we go. It's the first one.
oh, that's good.
Let's hope it works. Happy Friday, guys.
Yeah. Happy Friday to you.
Feliz viernes,
Feeling
everybody.
pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty outraged. Happy,
You said you were
outraged, enraged.
happy and full of rage.
And
I'm excited
enraged.
to hear
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Feeling in a good mood. Yeah. We should get it on. Get it on soon.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'm
Wish
just
I could
pulling
figure
it
out
up.
this fucking light that I didn't look like a skeleton, but here we are. It's fine. It's just Jesus trying to humble me. He's like, you know what? You're old. You're not gonna be cute. So here you go. Off we go.
Yep.
I got a cute puppy.
All right. Here, go ahead and start recording the audio, Christopher. Christopher. Three, two, one. Let us roll.
Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 189 of your Endless Ranters podcast. We do what we want and we appreciate your support. My name is Chris. I'm one of your hosts for this evening. I'm a mostly peaceful dad from North Texas, but not for long because your dumbass kids are out there chanting death to America, and I'm fucking pissed about it. Probably gonna cuss a lot tonight, so get ready. I'm joined by our other hosts. It's Soggy Mom living in a Crunchy Mom's world. It's Quan. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit rageful tonight as well, but mine is purely
Good.
hormonal and full moons. So
Oh, okay. Eh, maybe mine is too. You never know. I heard that men have a cycle as well.
they do. Oh wait. And I'm puppy.
The
Here we
last
go.
50 years, and it's freaking awesome. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. But yeah, I heard that. Yeah, like men have like hormonal cycles, whatnot. Not
Oh
me.
Well,
yeah.
what are
They
the, what
cycle
type?
with they cycle with the moon like crazy, like a bunch of werewolves, and they don't even know. They just like as the moon cycles up, they get full of rage. That's my personal opinion, but if you know, you
I'm gonna look
know.
outside.
So if you have a husband, you know. Yeah.
Is there any
Hmm.
science to back this claim up?
I mean, I could take video, but it would just be me cussing.
Hmm.
And there's the man with the plan. It's producer Manny. What's going down, ball man?
Drizzle, drizzle, baby. Good to be back. We've been gone a bit.
Is that what the
Good to-
kids are saying? Drizzle, drizzle.
yes, sir. Drizzle, drizzle.
I'm so glad you
Is
didn't
there like a my
keep
part
with
after
his
that or anything
nickname
like
of
that, or
dried
just
up coon.
drizzle, drizzle? My, I don't know.
No, no, no. It's just,
Not just it, just drizzle, drizzle. It's cool.
yeah,
Probably for the best.
yeah.
Probably for the best. Happy
Just gonna
Friday to
err on the side
everybody.
of mystery with my statement when it comes to drizzle, drizzle.
Yeah, happy Friday, everybody, unless you got some snot-nosed piece of shit, college age kids out there, trying to go camping, shouting death to America, basically repeating Osama bin Laden's talking points from 23 years ago about, Palestine, all this bullshit, and America, this, that, and the other. Oh, your time is coming. Your time is coming, man. Because I tell you what, you little punks,
Don't come to Texas.
no, no, don't come to this generation. I'm starting to rally people my age. Like,
Oh,
we're gonna go out the bang. Like, you want to keep this shit up. You want to keep up. You want to start talking like Osama bin Laden on college campus. You want to start talking about death to America. You want to start talking about Hezbollah flags, pro Hamas, and like, yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna become unmanageable, and we're gonna like. I'll just tell you. It ain't gonna be nice. It's probably unconstitutional, probably unethical, but there's gonna be a whole
They were
generation of
on
people,
YouTube.
be a whole generation of people in their 50s just looking to put their boot on your neck,
Hmm.
right? Oh, you want to buy a house? Oh, that's weird because I saw you on Facebook, with a terrorist flag not too long ago. Hmm. You want a job? You want anything? You want advice? You want help? Whatever, anything? Like
Our president addressed the nation with a split. Who has a split USA Ukraine flag? Like our president?
this is becoming
Our president,
unacceptable.
our
Unacceptable.
president has a split Ukraine USA flag.
This is
I have
becoming
never in my life, never in my
well, when they
life.
passed the latest funding for Ukraine, another 95 billion, or I think it was like 95 billion for Ukraine and Israel.
Yeah.
They might as well be the same thing at this point. There were a bunch of people, elected American officials, Americans with American passports, holding American elected offices, waving Ukrainian flags in the United States House. And then, but there's like dudes that are in prison for 20 years because they trespass in this place, and these some bitches can just wave a Ukrainian flag and just steal from everybody and give them all their money. Like
This
that's
old lady's in prison for like 20 years for having a dime bag of weed.
it's becoming unacceptable.
They're waving the Ukrainian ally flag. That's why they're cool with it. It's fine, man. It's fine.
That's just
You got to support your allies, my friend.
yeah. But most of these kids are stupid, but that stupid's gonna sting because that stupid's on camera. It's on video. Like
Yeah.
these little snot nosed punks playing the guitar on the quad, you know,
Not well, I might add.
grooving
They're
out.
tense. They're tense.
Yeah,
Ugh.
jamming out between classes. Know what I'm saying, bro? Chanting "Death to America." All right, you can get
But
stomped
you know
on.
what? If you think about how long the media and all of the propaganda that our country has been subjected to, if you think about how uh the Rothschilds moved in and like the women's movement was brought and they were chanting, burn our bras, burn our bras. And now all these bitches are full-time, working 80 hours a week. Their kids are being raised by pedophiles. It's fucking insane. It's fucking
Yeah,
insane.
we're definitely getting into the early stage.
Ah,
We're getting into the early stages of the how's that working out for you phase,
yeah. I
where
just noticed that I have to
everybody's just
close
like
my eyes
everybody's
like it is
realizing they're
my
very
heart.
unhappy. Everybody's really realizing how unhappy they are and how
Yeah.
unfulfilled they are.
Yeah. It turns out I would much rather teach my child how to sew. Ugh, just saying.
But I don't know what's going to happen because it's yeah, that's what's been on my mind this week is yeah, we need to start fighting back
Yeah.
at every way possible, legally, peacefully.
Yeah.
At this point, just trying to convince people that we're on the wrong path, that this is not working out. You're all unhappy. You're all pissed off. You're wondering why you got to vote for either Biden or Trump again, and it's your own damn fault. Everybody out there, because you don't pay attention to who's you don't pay attention to who's teaching your kids. You don't pay attention to who's governing your kids, the school board. You don't pay attention to the city council where you live. Or maybe every now and then you do, you
Some of
know,
us do. Some of us.
when there's an issue that aggravates you, but you don't pay attention to how much money they're borrowing in your name. They don't. But and then eventually those people that are just that realize you're not paying attention, they're just like, wow, I can just run for Congress too. People are pretty stupid. Let's run for Congress, and I can maybe run for Senate. Maybe get a job, maybe get a job somewhere in the government. And
Well, the lady that I helped get her, oh gosh, what did I help her run for? I helped her run for something, but now she's like it's escalated and her views are, no longer align. Oh gosh.
yeah, that too.
She's in the Senate and I helped her run for like I like donated, I fundraised, I had parties.
Did she go like fringe territory even for you, or was it just like
No,
completely
Even
I
for
mean,
you.
opposite?
I
I don't know
still.
that part.
No
Even
offense,
for
I'm
you.
just
Well,
Uh,
here's what you need to know about me is that I voted for Obama twice.
right.
So I've only recently switched over, but you know, yeah, because I can see what's happening. Like it seems obvious. So, but yeah, I helped her. I think she's part of the Senate now. Like I always get things like she was like our vice mayor and then she's something else, and now I think she has a Senate seat. But
yeah, I
I
mean, you gotta
also
be,
think that she's
it's,
gonna vote for Biden. So I think that she's maybe lost her touch with what's
it's
happening.
real. It is a very, strange, like the entry point to politics sometimes locally is like some mom or whatever runs for school board. And they
Yep.
really, and at that point, at that moment that they decide to run for school board, they really are at that, their heart is right. They
Yeah.
are not left or right, Republican, Democrat. Usually, nowadays it's different because people get into that as it's the local school board's a grift and like a game now. But then it turns you because now, like every time an issue comes up, a bond or a teachers union, like you have to pick a side. So then
Yeah.
the system kind of makes you pick a side all the time. I don't, yeah, I guess I don't envy those people. I don't really want to be that because I
No, she's
realize it's just, you could lose
yeah, it
yourself
was
very easily.
local. It was super local because I mean, I remember we fundraised for her, we door knocked, we did all the things, and then she went up and now she has a Senate seat. Literally
Like
has a Senate seat.
in this area here, in this like North Texas, Frisco, Texas area, like there's people complain. There's out like literally money comes from out of the state of Texas to fund the campaigns of our school board members. That is really
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
because they're trying, it's like they're like
Isn't that their
they're like
responsibility to
investment.
raise their own funds?
Well, they're like venture capitalists because they're like betting on people early on. Like, because it's
Okay.
only going to cost like 10 grand to buy a bunch of road signs, but this person could catch on and be like the next big thing. What'd you say?
Isn't campaign fundraising something that that is their own responsibility? Or am I thinking incorrect?
Yeah, but I guess legally, if an outside group that's all about school choice
Right.
or is anti-school choice, that's, really really their headquarters is DC
Hmm.
and they collect money from all over the country, from celebrities, from wherever. But then they send some candidate in like a small county, 20 grand,
Right.
which is like $18,000 more than the mom that's running, the stay-at-home mom that's
Right,
running for student. Like she has 2 grand.
Well,
right.
next season, Quana.
But it's
Anything that
part
involves
of
leaving
like
my house, I'm out.
it's like the Adam Carolla thing. Like whoever raises their hand when you say who wants to take the Boy Scouts up into the mountains this weekend,
Yeah,
it's like that's the
that's not
person
the
you
one.
know, get out.
No.
But like the folks that are like sitting there in the living room thinking, I think I can make this school system better. Like I get it. Like, yeah, maybe you can. Maybe you have no idea. Like maybe you're totally unqualified to make a school system of 20,000 students better. Like,
Right.
but I guess that's human politics, the human condition. It's just we're really very, very flawed, very imperfect.
Hey, with all the things that are going on throughout the college campuses, does your son want to attend college at all? Has he
That's
voiced
a
an
great
interest?
question.
He does. Yeah, he does.
Okay.
You can't not because I mean that
It's
like elementary, they have like
indoctrinated.
they have college days in elementary school here.
Yeah.
It's like
He's been building up his
Texas,
totem
because it's like you gotta
fantasy.
UT.
like yeah, you gotta wear your parents' college, like either your parents' UT or Oklahoma
The
sweatshirt, or, whatever, just
Longhorns.
yeah, but it's like that's just part of the well, I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but when I was growing up, certainly it was like this is all for you to go to college. Like
Mhm.
that's just
Yeah.
that's it. Like there's no choice about it. Like thinking that you're not going to college was you just didn't even think it. Didn't even think it. So, but he wants to. Yeah, he wants to. He wants to play football and all do all the things. He's definitely in the dreamer mode right now.
Is he gonna
12
go on
years
a
old.
mission? Is he gonna go on a mission? Any
Like as like a religious
Yes.
mission.
Yeah, secret mission. Like,
as a Mormon?
Oh no, no. He's declared that he would like to be a Christian.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry,
Down
did
with
I miss something? Was he entertaining the idea of converting to a Latter-day Saint?
no one of his friends at school. It's a good kid.
Got okey doked.
He got invited to go to like a church event a couple
Uh-huh.
nights ago, and
What?
when
Wait,
I
was it
when
like
I
a
asked when I
praise and
so
worship
I,
night or something like that?
no, it was like a kids event.
Uh-huh.
Would you? Yeah, like a kids event, and so I walk in the kitchen and get him. It's like, oh yeah, oh what church is it? Like one Mississippi, two Mississippi pause. Then Laura's like, um, it's the Church of Latter-day Saints. And now that was my turn for like one Mississippi, two Mississippi. What? Nah, but it's like I get it because his like him and his friends, they all look alike. They all dress the same. All of our the parents all drive the same car, have the same houses. Like just, but
Yeah.
then there's some differences that yeah that there are there.
Yeah. Uh,
Uh,
didn't you have some
I don't want to
like
go into
Middle
it too
Eastern
much because it's
differences
like,
too?
huh?
Didn't you have some Middle Eastern differences too? In like one of your neighbors teach your daughters like some bad words or
Oh yeah. We got some. Yeah, it's definitely a multicultural environment. Yeah,
Texas?
yeah.
Yeah.
One of the local. Well,
Oh,
I've thought about this a lot. So yeah, one of the neighbor kids, like a young boy, maybe he's like third grade. Um, he's an Indian kid,
Mhm.
like from like Eastern Asia, whatever, Indian.
Gotcha.
Um, but tricked one of my girls into saying a bad word. But it's like that's just I was really pissed for a while, and also the kid knows he's not welcome anywhere around my house or my driveway or my basketball hoop, anything like that. He knows he's not welcome, but
Yeah.
I'm not as mad as I was before because that's like kids do that stuff and they think it's funny, you know.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And my daughters learned that yes, there are some third graders that are going to trick you into saying things, so it's kind of that happens.
All good lessons.
But yeah, he's not welcome.
Still
No
banned.
basketball hoop for him.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But yeah, it's like so the whole like that going to different church and like yeah, like you're gonna experience that, especially in our neighborhood. It's like there's Indians, Pakistanis, Muslims, Hispanics,
And I'd like
Mormons, I
sent
guess
me
now.
to a ton of different churches, and I feel like I don't regret that. Like I have a lot of horrible parts of my childhood that I think about, but all
Mm,
the different churches that I attended, like I've attended every different church, like a full on African American church where they like all of the things I've experienced. More
mhm.
from Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh Day Adventist. I've been to all the churches. And I mean, I think it's good to know that everybody believes something. Um, so that's not bad
Yeah,
for
it's
kids
part of
to know.
life. Yeah, like
It
yeah, it's
makes
just it's
believing
definitely
in
a
something a little bit more digestible. I think if you like understand that everybody believes in something different, the same as skin colors are different and languages are different, religions are also different. So everybody believes in something, and that's, I mean,
mhm.
I think for kids to understand that at an early age isn't a bad thing. So good that he went to go experience that. However, if
Yeah.
the Mormons start knocking on your door, don't be surprised.
Yeah, I did ask him. I was like, do they ask your phone number, email address?
Don't be surprised if they don't need it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. Did they have to
wow,
write your name down anywhere?
don't be
Nah.
surprised. There's not facial recognition. Do not be surprised if I'm I'm glad that we have this because when the missionaries come knocking, it'll be weird how they found you.
Well,
Just
I slam a door like no one slams a door faster than me.
Yeah, I know, I know, I know.
I'm surprised you even let it open to the point where you
Well, you
glad there was
have
an
to
option,
because the best part is like when the door hits the door jamb,
right?
because like, you can say you're slamming a door, but it's like the moment that it actually the door hits the jam, you want them to be mid-sentence. Like you want them to be mid-word. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to slam it when there's an awkward pause. Like you want them to be mid pitch. You know what I mean? That's where the skill comes from. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to spend some time with me, I'll teach you these things, but
Hey, there's a
that's
side hustle you could start. You could corner the market on
how to unslam doors. And
people's faces the proper way.
yeah, we had a hailstorm, and obviously it must be lucrative when hail runs through this neighborhood because there's just like 100 different roofer companies out and all their trucks and like knocking on the door, and you're just slamming doors in people's faces all the time. It's good practice.
Yeah.
It's good practice. Oh, but yeah. So our campuses are or sub campuses. I think most college kids are like, I'm here to like, I'm paying for this. I'd like to like learn something so I can go earn some money.
Hmm.
But apparently there's a certain class of college students that's not really concerned about their future. Like,
They don't believe in the future. That's why they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's burn it all down now.
I guess if you're at Columbia University and it's like, you're just a few weeks away from graduation and it's like finals are coming up soon.
Well, they also don't want
The
to pay off
other
that debt.
part,
I
like
guess
the
you're not
time of
worried. I guess
year,
you're not really worried. You're like, let's camp out.
you know what, that might be a good, like when things don't make sense, because when you think about the pressure that those kids would be under at this time of year, and to be like throwing all of that away, like it also makes you think maybe there are a lot of paid actors in this, right?
The people that are using those kids that are really, yeah, they don't care that those kids are gonna,
Yeah,
have to go another have to go another
because
semester, have to
like the
tack on another
kid that wants to
semester.
be a veterinarian, or the kid that like is gonna like whatever it's gonna be, like you would think that that's not the kid that's standing out there getting pushed around by,
Yep.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it is for the media. I feel like so much of everything that we see is, I'm questioning all of the things.
I think the media makes money off of it, but the real problem are the communists because America has a communist problem. And I know that's like such a people think of that such a wacky thing to say. And
Well, America's
I'm
been
not
trying to
talking
fight off
about,
communism for like the last how many
yeah, I know.
years?
And it's like it becomes like uncool to even talk about it or something, or it's like well, you're just making it up or but this is not the communist that
Not
again,
your grandpa's communism.
it's not yeah, it's not like it's not the communal because I saw someone make this comment today. It was like, hey, if you want to be a communist and go buy some land and start a commune and leave us alone and we'll leave you alone. And I was just like, bro, these are not the communal
Don't
commune
have the good
communists.
time.
Right.
These are the people it's the capital C communists, which it's all about wealth and power and control for a very few of them with no
Nothing
questions
for
asked.
everybody else.
No, we don't, and they're not going to answer any of your fucking questions. They don't really give a shit about your voting. They don't really care if you call it democracy or they don't really care because they're in complete control.
What I think people aren't looking at is it's the same group of people in control for so long. So when you grab that name and then link it back to all of the things that have made our country what it is, it's scary. Like these times are, I don't know, feels
Well, it's a
dark.
human problem where no matter how good of a system you create, you know,
Yeah.
you're going to have humans that are greedy and
Yeah.
pieces of shit with no
Yeah.
moral or ethical underpinnings that are just like everything's a power grab. You got I mean, just, you know, Hillary Clinton pops into mind.
My God,
Someone
why
with
is she all over the
zero
place
beliefs,
again? Here.
but just always finger to the wind. It's always about power.
Right.
And then, they don't really care what you call it. I mean, eventually they'll call it communism, but they'll call it democracy for now, or like the democratic social. They don't really care. Like, they don't really care about that. They don't care about the cost of groceries. They don't care about Palestinians. They don't care about Israelis. They don't care about Taiwanese. They don't care about Uyghurs. They don't care about the Houthis or whatever the hell whoever they're fighting. They don't care about any of them. All they care about is all these things, all these conflicts. Everything is like, how can I use it to consolidate my power, take away democracy, you know, from Americans, take away American like individual power all over the world, not just Americans. Like, man, that's the kind of communism we're dealing with. We're dealing with just evil people who
Good
have
versus
gained a lot of
bad
power
is
because everybody's an atheist now. No, everybody thinks it's not cool to believe in the sky fairy or something like that. Well,
when they took God out
good
of
for you.
school. That's all the programming that goes on in school. We should have been really, really scared when they were like, "Oh, we are not going to program God anymore out of this." It's ridiculous. It's all
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. You
people
could,
should have put their foot down. Like our foot should have been down. Like it almost feels like it's too late. Like there's no foot to put down.
the foot
We're
never
on
gets
like a
put down.
ride.
It never gets put down soon enough, I guess. So it
Yeah.
just takes.
The foot is due to come down out of nowhere, like in much of those Monty Python skits.
I
It's gonna come down, squish a
don't
bunch of
know.
people, and things will keep going.
I like to make people
Whatever.
laugh. I like to be funny and, just make jokes a lot, but it's people really do need to wake up to the seriousness of what they're facing and what there's some really evil people that have a ton of power, like more power than the King of England and, 500 years ago, just like insane amounts of power.
What do you think they've accumulated more of, power or wealth, or is it an equal combination of both?
It's both. Yeah, it's both. It's just like one and the same, I guess. I mean, that's kind of like that's our currency of power, I guess.
Right.
But then again, I don't know that
Or should I say like
Hillary and
influence
Bill
and
Clinton and
wealth?
Hillary Clinton were never anywhere near the richest people in the world. But man,
Right.
they wielded some power for a while. So yeah, it's.
Maybe still today a little bit.
But I get it. We all do that, right? So if you work in a workplace, right, and there's
Sure.
15 people in the workplace, you make alliances, right? You make alliances with people that are like you, that have your kind of goals of like how you would like management to go in that direction. So you kind of ally yourself with people that, it just anyway. But that's going to be more of a thing. We're about to get real pro America up in this bitch. So,
Yeah,
Well,
let's go.
I want to
I'm
know
trying to
more
think.
about these bridges being attacked, since we're on the subject of property, destruction and civil
yeah, what
unrest.
is new there? I know like the FBI a couple weeks opened up an investigation. The language is pretty mild, but what's new is in terms of the Baltimore Key Bridge container ship attack or non-attack or
I
attack.
mean, from what I heard, that it was like some sort of terrorist attack, but like you said initially, was it from where? I don't think that that's been clear given out, but
Also,
that it
like,
What
was some sort of attack.
what disturbs me is they say they put out these headlines like that are basically like it could have been or no.
what was it?
They like the headlines are literally like this the Baltimore Key Bridge accident was a highly sophisticated terrorist attack, comma, officials say. It's like, they do. So the officials made an official statement about what it could have been.
Comma.
Right,
And it's
right,
like, why would they say that? And maybe it's true.
right.
Or maybe it just kind of it's just like,
Is it one of those things though that because the news isn't telling us that it's happening, is it not happening? Because I mean, maybe it is happening, right?
yeah, I'm a big fan. My bias is towards just incompetence. Like Like
Yeah,
we don't need,
of course.
like our enemies don't need to create conspiracy theories because they can just let us be really incompetent.
Yeah.
Like we were talking before in the happy hour about standards at schools and how the schools just let kids take retests all the time. It's like
Yeah. They've
that
lowered
that
the
doesn't
SAT
that doesn't
standards because they're
yeah,
racist.
that does not increase
Well, let me get a mulligan on that test.
competence. That decreases
Of
competence.
course.
So it's like
Have
you
you
don't really need
seen
to
the
have
videos of the Chinese kindergarten kids that are like dribbling in between their legs and like cooking up
yeah,
meals and they're 4 years old. They're like this big and they're walking up some
yeah. All right, well,
lunch.
Building warriors over there, man.
good luck dribbling when you're 5'10". We got kids that can
No,
dribble
no, no.
and they're huge.
They're this
Oh, they're like
big.
little
They're like
kids.
little tiny, and it's a complete line of little girls, and they're so cute. And
Oh
they're
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
in between their legs. It's not like just dribbling. It's like uh it's crazy. You have
But
to, Manny, can
we
you
used to
find
do those
that?
good time. We
Go on
used to
TikTok and find Chinese kindergarten. It's crazy. You cannot believe what their kindergartners are doing, and our kindergartners are scared of water.
yeah,
Like
we used to do propaganda about how awesome our young kids were. Now it's just like we got to protect these young kids because they're all whacked out. They're all crazy. Like
They've been exposed to social
can't even
media at a
teach
young
these
age.
kids like pronouns anymore. It's like you can't even like there's just word.
Well, no, I mean, well, you're talking about the newer generation. I got you. Never mind. Because everybody's going by pronouns and whatnot these days. Pronouns and adjectives.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Anyway, it's Friday. We don't have to think about these things.
No, we
so
do. That's what we're gonna do.
people should know that in the last week, the president of the United States said that his uncle was eaten by cannibals. Everybody needs to
Sure
know
did.
that.
All right. I didn't.
We're on to the fun fact section of the
I
show.
don't think everyone knows that. I don't think
Everyone
everyone
should
knows
know
that.
I
And
know
Oh,
that's
because
crazy.
so
because it's so
was he
hard to
giving a press
accept.
conference or what was it that led to him just be like, hey, by the way, my uncle was eaten?
I believe he was talking to like World War II vets. So of course he's
Yeah.
got to talk about his own connection to World War II, and he's
Everything's about Sleepy Joe.
tried to talk about his uncle who went down near in like what is it, New Guinea?
From New
Um,
Guinea over there, that area? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, I guess like that would be South America, I think, and was eaten. Well, he didn't say that he was eaten by cannibals. He was like, and they got a lot of cannibals in there. You know what I'm saying? Like he did something like that. So he didn't say, but it's like, no, no, he died in the middle of the ocean. Like, first of all, his uncle, Joe Biden's uncle, was a better man than him.
Mhm.
He was an actual World War II
Obviously.
soldier who died for his country. I don't, he wasn't like doing like combat missions, but he was like a pilot, he was on a crew. He died for his country. And because his piece of garbage,
He wasn't sniffing blow off a
yeah,
Taiwanese
yeah, yeah.
teenager's ass.
Well, he was eaten by cannibals so that his great nephew Hunter, could do the blow off of Ukrainian hookers. But like this guy he died as a soldier in World War II. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and because his, you know, dementia brained nephew is trying to, I don't know what he's doing. Just having falling apart on television, says that he was eaten by cannibals. And now like the whole internet is mocking this man.
Mhm.
And I've shared plenty of those, I guess I should feel bad or something. But like now the whole internet
You
is
know you
like
don't.
Joe Biden's Uncle Bozy got eaten by cannibals.
Wait, the guy's name was Bozy?
Yeah. It makes it even better that he had like a weird name.
That is that an abbreviation
Yeah.
for something else?
No, your
Or?
Uncle
I have
Bozy
no
is
idea.
definitely a cannibal. Like that's if you have an Uncle Bozy, like that is your cannibal
It wasn't
uncle.
like my Uncle
Or he's
Ted.
doing some weird shit. Uncle Bozy is always up to no good. He's
But like,
nefarious. He's got like a moonshine still. Like Uncle Bozy's up to
yeah.
bullshit for sure.
I mean, who knows? Because
100%.
his name was probably like Bill. And the family's probably like, no one called him Uncle Bozy. Why are you calling him Uncle Bo? Like, what are you talking about? Like, no one, why are you making up people? But anyway, so my son got in the car, phone connected to the Bluetooth, and a Megyn Kelly episode was playing, and he saw the name of the title, which was like Joe Biden Cannibals. And my son was like,
Meet the cannibals.
he's like, what? Joe Biden's like, what? He's like, what is that? What does that mean? And I was like, oh no. I said, now I got to explain to my 12-year-old son why the president of the United States is claiming that his
Okay.
uncle was eaten by cannibals. And then I got to tell my son that, like, no, his uncle was not eaten by cannibals. His uncle went down in a plane with 4 people. One person survived the plane and was like, I survived this plane crash in the middle of the ocean, and Uncle Bozy and the 2 other guys were dead. We're in the middle of the ocean. There's no cannibals there were no cannibals floating around waiting for a white man to fall out of the sky.
Right.
So I had to explain this, and my son was like, why? He could not get over like why someone would tell a lie like that. He just couldn't, he couldn't understand. Like,
Cannibal,
it was
I
like, but
come from.
he was like, but why? I was like, I don't know. I guess he thought like maybe I was like, I don't know why. I don't know. He's like, why? And he
Should
said something
explain
like,
dementia to him. You
well,
should
I
explain
kind of had
that's a
to,
perfect time.
I was like, well, son, grandma's the same age as our president. And I was like, you realize like when we go to grandma, she's like fully coherent, like full conversations, won't
Because
stop
she
talking.
has cats. Because she
Like,
has cats.
yeah, she's got complete sentences. She reads books still. She remembers the last time she saw you, things like that. Little things like that. Um, and then I was like, some people that age don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's our president.
And
Yeah.
he was like, these are 5 minute conversations that happen from when
In
I'm
the
dropping off
car.
my
In the
girls to
car.
dropping him off at school. And
Yeah.
right before he got out of the car, he's like, well, he can't be president. Like, it was like, he's like, how is this? He was like, how is this possible?
You're like, yep.
What are
Put your
you all
mouth to
doing?
God's ears.
What are you
What are
doing?
you all doing? Like, I didn't vote for him, son.
That
What are
was like,
you
it
watching
was
that
just such
tone?
an innocent, like, well, well, then he can't be president. Like, what are you guys going to do about it? Like, aren't you going to go like, dad, go knock on the door and take over
Yeah.
like something like
Fix
what?
it. Yeah.
Like, this can't
No.
be like this. Yeah.
Yeah. All of a
This
sudden,
is
everybody
fascinating.
is a man standing outside the San Jose mayor's office. Well, the mayor's security is being beat
Oh,
up.
it's wild.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've
So,
never
and it's
seen anything
also, I
like
was
that.
reading a book recently about like what sons need from dads, things like that. And part of the book, this is the minor part, was like that, you can learn a lot from your kids, like how they
Yeah.
experience things, and I was like, yeah. He was just like, this is like his natural childlike, and it was like, this is not acceptable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
Someone fix it. Yeah. Might
like
have to do with
they'd be
his
the same way.
mullets
They'd
and
be like,
his
if mom or
braids.
dad was like, running around the house in leotards, like flipping out, like doing chant, like they'd be like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Like, this is unacceptable.
Like, can someone
Yeah.
intervene?
Like, this is,
Yeah.
yeah, it was, so just in those moments, you're just like, yeah, it's wild. But I'll be right back.
So, Juana,
That's
as you are the resident bird whisperer,
I'm literally rustling a puppy this entire podcast. Do you see me? I'm throwing ice cubes. I'm like,
you're rustling a pup. What does that mean exactly? You're rustling.
he's awake and
Uh,
he's excited and he wants to, you know,
is he
do
still not
puppy
like on a
stuff.
set schedule, or is he just like brimming with energy that it doesn't matter?
I think he's very, you know what? I'm not even gonna hate because he's very calm. He's a very good puppy. He's a good boy, but
Uh,
he's just like having his awake time right now because maybe his schedule is. But I mean, I think that if you're a puppy, maybe your schedule changes a lot. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had a puppy,
yeah.
so I'm just giving him grace. I'm just always like, oh well, he's just a puppy, and that's why he took a dump right there.
Just like, I'm just a dog. What are you gonna get mad at
He's
me for?
he's clearly just a puppy. And I mean,
Hey,
look at
doesn't know
this
any
face. Like,
better.
what are you gonna do? You're like,
He's
oh
way too
well,
adorable, man.
can't make you mad when you look like that. Yeah. So Manny,
Yeah.
uh when we got off of last week's whatever the fuck that was, uh
Wow.
within a couple hours you were like, I have a story to tell next week. So maybe this is a good time for you to share that you had maybe an adventure. Was this like a Tinder
That's a good
adventure?
that's a good word to use. I had a side quest last Friday. Um we didn't get together last week, did we?
Yeah, we were together. We were together. We did
Oh
a
yeah, we did a
crossover
crossover
podcast.
with two grumpy bastards. That's right. Shout out to Cooper Russ. After that, later that well after that I went to a friend's house, and after that my coworkers hit me up. They're like, "Hey, we want to get together at a bar. Do you know of any?" And I tell them of a local spot that's not too far from our job. We go there, they get their drinks. We go outside to the back patio area, and we're just sitting there bullshitting about whatever the fuck we were bullshitting about. And this random chick just sits next to me and inserts herself into our conversation, and then kind of everybody has their own little interaction with her. Then I just kept on talking to her, and then my homies, they just kind of had their own. They kind of broke off and started having their own conversation. Time goes on, they leave. I'm still hanging out with this chick, and eventually, I ended up taking her home because she was way too wasted, and was like, "Hey, you're gonna be my Lyft driver." I was like, "I am." It was like, "Yes." I was like, "All right. Where do you live?" And thankfully, she was not too far from where I live, like maybe 25 minute drive. So before we got to her house, she had showed me photos of it. Apparently, this chick, she's in the thick of it right now. She's I don't know who broke up with who, but her relationship ended. Her place was totally trash. According to her, it was her crazy ex boyfriend that's a cokehead. But for the behavior that I witnessed that night, I think she was just projecting, and it was just her. She freaked the fuck out one night at her house and just destroyed everything in a fit of rage. Um, there was a table that was broken in the corner. There was clothing all over in a pile, and one in front of her bookshelf. Um, at one before we got to her house, she was just like, I need you to go to a liquor store and get us some beer." Like, all right,
Sounds
whatever.
so promising.
I love his voice. No, wait, do her voice again, Manny.
Eventually, I
Do
will.
the voice.
Hold on. So,
I'm getting excited for you. It's happening tonight, bro.
It's so
Please continue.
promising.
the other thing too is when we got to her place, I felt so bad for her neighbors because it was around 2, a little bit
It's
after
fair.
2, and she's being loud as shit
Yeah.
and no self awareness, does not give a fuck about her surroundings or the
It's
fact that
perfect. I mean,
yeah,
not at 2 in the afternoon, but things are
precisely.
going
And
well for you.
so yeah, I was under the impression that she was going to be living in a much more spacious place just from the photos. I was just like, nah, it's a cramped quarters, and yeah, it was a fucking mess. The only thing I saw that this chick had to eat was bread. The the fridge was completely barren, apart from the fucking beer that you know.
That's sad when it's like inefficient to even to even have your fridge plugged in. You know what I mean? Like you
That's
should
the only.
unplug it. Like you'll save money by unplugging your fridge.
Oh my god.
Ah.
We ended up making out, watching Garden State, and during the times that I was making out with her, thankfully her breath wasn't awful, given the
Always
fact
a
that she was
plus.
drinking all night.
Mhm.
but a part of me was very tempted to. I don't know if she had went to the beach or she just burns easily, but she had a crazy tan and the skin on her nose was peeling big time. And
Hmm.
at one point when she was leaning in to kiss me, I just kind of wanted to go in and just grab start peeling away. I was like, no, no, no. I really had to fight that urge. It's like, don't be a weirdo.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
hot. I mean, what? What do you what?
yeah,
All right, keep
dude.
going. Like, okay. So things are getting
Oh,
hot, things are getting heated,
yeah, things are
skin's
really
getting peeled.
skin's getting
Skin's getting peeled back.
oh, but yeah, dude, we didn't end up hooking up just because she was a fucking mess, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just well, not
Probably
only
probably
that,
a crime,
Never
in
been an issue
California.
for
It's probably
me.
would have been a crime, to
not only that, it was
be
just
fair.
like she was just her attitude was shitty, bro. Like
That's
it was totally killing the
same.
mood. It was like whatever mood there was, she was just like, and not only that, again, she was being way too loud. It's just like, man, I feel bad for your neighbors. I kind of want to go just so you could shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Um, so that was an interesting side quest. Another reason why I don't go to bars is just like I randomly, get designated driver status since I don't drink. For crazy
Follow-up
bitches.
question. You said her house looked different in pictures.
Yeah, she
When
showed
did
me
you
like a
see her house
photo.
in the pictures?
For some odd, well, she was also oversharing. That's the other reason why I knew why she was the current situation she was in. Like
Listen,
I
we
had
can't
learned,
judge.
She was, yeah, that's diabolical. She was like, man, this dude's gonna think my place is fucked up. So
and it was it
I'm gonna
lit
start
it.
showing him pictures now and start talking about my ex-boyfriend who was all coked up, thinking that's gonna be a sales pitch or something. Like maybe he's
Right,
there. I mean,
right. But I have witnessed how the other side lives, and I gotta say, it's something.
yeah,
Take
ladies,
some
you
pictures.
need to tighten it up a little bit out there. Shit together. We're not trying to be all grossed out.
Oh, dude, there was
Here's the
just
thing
bread,
though.
man, bread.
I think some guys and obviously some women just are fine with whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you can hear the puppy going.
No, it's all right.
I don't hear it, but I'm glad you made
And
it out alive, man.
and so quick follow up. She texted me the following night. I was at work. I said,
Do
"Hey,
her voice, do her voice, do her voice when you read these texts. Do it.
what are you doing? I need you to come over. I'm having a bad night." I was like, "I'm at work. I'm here till 11. This was like around 8. You can't leave early. I'm having a real bad fucking night. Please." It's like, "Nah, I'm in charge of locking up. Sorry.
She's
Fine. Come over when
yeah.
you're done." I was like, "All right, whatever." And a few minutes later, she's like, "Never mind. I'm going to sleep. Bye."
That's a little early in a relationship to be asking you to like leave your job early. You know what I mean? Like I've known you for 18 hours.
And known is a pretty strong word. I've just been kind of like had her experience kind of thrown at me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
smelled her house.
That place was weird, man. It was a weird interaction.
Yeah. Hmm.
Sorry, brother.
One
That
for the
seems like a
books, though.
lot.
One for the books.
Well, you said that came into the chat. I was excited to hear about it. You said this was gonna happen, so I'm
Yeah.
excited.
I figure, throw in a little bit more fun. Some
Yeah.
nice little side quest adventure for the people.
I like it. That's good. I mean, you're the only one that's going into strange
Yeah.
bitches' houses. So
Clean these dumps up, ladies. Come on. Get it together.
Seriously.
you
Boy's
should
That was
got
do
Pastor
my
it.
boy's
Justin
got
and us.
standards. He's not trying to
That's
come over there
right.
and get turned off by your freaking broken ass tables and
Yeah.
empty fridge.
Your breath was fine, but
Pressing
the
as hell.
dildo on on the nightstand. Ridiculous.
Oh my god.
He said bright pink. Was it bright pink?
It was on the floor.
Oh, there was a bright pink dildo on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, well, if I was her, I would definitely be making up stories about crazy ex-boy coked up boyfriend, being like, yeah, he threw, yeah, that's not mine. Man.
Yep. Makes sense. Yep.
Oh my god.
That adds up.
Well, since
That
we're like
adds up.
adjacent to that subject, what's up with Ye wanting to start a porn company or make
Bro, it's
a porn?
open. It's open for business. I'm scared to click any links. I don't want to go. Like, I feel like it's gonna like port me into some Hamas site or something.
Is he just gonna be
coming
like
from him?
acting as a production house? Or is he gonna be like directing things or like what the? Because I had
It's like when
honestly.
the Sons of Anarchy went into porn. I have no idea what's happening. I'm so
I don't know.
worried for him.
Is his
Yeah,
music gonna be
Kanye's kind of
playing?
like not real at this point. And
Yeah,
I
it's
also,
the teeth, his
yeah,
wife. I swear to Lord, if that was my daughter, if she was my daughter, I would be worse than paparazzi. I would be bringing out my old mom boobs and like flipping them out, like, oh, you want
Oh
to
my
show your
god.
tits, bitch? Look at me. Like, I would embarrass her. I would be so mad. Oh my God,
my
I'd be so mad.
curiosity about Kanye West is like, can he do this forever? Because I'm like,
Right.
maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he got pretty well canceled. Which, when you get canceled by the corporations, he can still make money. Like, they'll never be able to stop people from giving him money directly. But like, what are people giving him money for now? Like, what's did he invest in certain things? Maybe he just got like a bunch of revenue coming in no
Makes
matter
you
what,
wonder.
He
It
put
or
out
makes you wonder.
an album I think
yeah.
at the beginning of the year called Vultures. I think there's something from that. I don't know from where
Like,
else.
does that just make him so much money that he can just be nuts for 10 years? Like, just
Well, it's
Good
not just his
question.
music. I mean, he's got royalties from all the tracks
okay.
he's
Yeah,
on.
there you go. So it just he's got yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
he's got mailbox money. It's like nothing to do with the shoes and Adidas and all that kind of stuff. He's got
I mean that too. But
well, that kind of those kind of lucrative deals got pretty much cut off.
yeah, so maybe I guess all the stuff recently has just been either from like the music or just like maybe random appearances or who knows what
Yeah.
kind of like deals or who's
Because you
feeding him
also hear
cash.
like he's being sued by like just, countless people, organizations, companies, just because he's that big and that controversial. Like, there's just nonstop legal affairs going on. So he's got to be
Right.
his output's got to be pretty high. But I'm just
Right.
curious, like, how long that this whole like freak show can last, because that's what it is, it's a freak show, you
Exactly
know?
what it is. I think people are getting sick. People like me who love Kanye, have always loved Kanye. I love old Kanye, Kanye before Kim, after Kim. I feel like people are getting sick of it. Enough.
I think so
He's a,
too. That's kind of
if
why
you
I'm
think
thinking
he's a
like he can't,
genius, like,
yeah.
yeah, like produce. Let's see what you got. Let's go for it. But
Like,
this,
people are
I
sick of
don't
him
know.
to the point where there's, well, at least right now, no, Adidas is not willing to give him 500 million up front for a shoe
Right.
deal or whatever,
Super. Yeah.
or if they
The
are
porn thing
nowadays,
though,
there's gonna
like
be a
the
lot of
porn community
clauses.
seems to be grabbing him and being like, yeah, we're in it. So I mean, I don't know, it
Oh, well,
feels
that's
weird
they
that
have
somebody
very
was
high
like
standards.
pushing Jesus. I know, but like for Kanye though, like I think I think Kanye's like moment in the spotlight wasn't it was like after his Jesus moment in the spotlight. Like he kind of also like was like really shining a light on Jesus. So it's weird that he's like taken such a like a
Hard turn.
different take. Yeah,
Well, he's
it's
got to
like so
be. I mean, maybe he's just a genius and he's really smart and he's got
yeah,
some end
it's
game, or
marketing.
maybe he's like just bipolar, got a lot of,
Totally. That too.
yeah, I don't know. It is a phenomenon.
Yeah,
I
for
don't know,
sure.
but and it's going to run out soon. Like this whole thing where he has this hot young wife that dresses in practically nude
Mm.
every night.
So beautiful.
It's like
Like
that. Like at some point, she's going to be like, I'm going to go ahead and quit this deal and that whole deal where you have to give me $20 million now. I'm just going to go and go back to my family and
Yeah.
get back to normal.
Right.
I mean, unless it's really fun being married to a crazy person, who knows?
True. Like that's it's unfair um
Yeah.
to assume that he is using her in some way and that she's not maybe using him some way. Or there's not,
Well,
it's
the
not
other girl,
mutually beneficial.
yeah, the last one, his muse, I can't think of her name right now, but she made quite a name for herself.
Which one?
She called herself, or he called her his muse.
Is that
Um,
freaking basic white chick that just shows up
she had
all the
like a big
time?
long mouth and like,
Julia something?
yeah, yeah.
This tramp is on Daily Mail all the time, and I'm just like, what is she? Why?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
think she's been in one television show, and then she was
yeah.
dated
He walked her
Kanye
around
for a month,
before.
and then now she just dresses in weird bird costumes like a 2-bit Bjork, and like shows up in magazines, and it's like, it's cool. Yeah, that chick is very off-putting. Like, doesn't just, anyway.
Too cringe for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like the whole, Kanye benefits from it, but he's also exposed, I think, to some degree, just like the sickness of this Hollywood, like the sycophants
Mhm.
culture, because he kind of proves it in his, sometimes abhorrent behavior, but then like just keeps people keep loving him.
Right. So I want to
Um,
see more of it.
he's kind of like, I just pop this thought, just like kind of like a modern day, somewhat Jim Morrison type. Yeah, probably not the best comparison, but like makes you
Are you
look
saying
at,
he is the Lizard King? Is that what
like
you're
makes you
It's
look
not a
at like
horrible comparison. I think it's a
maybe
good
look,
one.
yeah, makes you look at like Hollywood culture, the mob. Like Jim Morrison was real into the mob mentality.
saying?
Well,
Like I read his
his
book.
dad had a lot of influence over, like, wasn't his dad like on the boat that started the Vietnam War or something like that? Like, there's a
Maybe
lot of weird stuff for Jim Morrison. So, yeah, I mean, I think that like culturally, like trying to shine a light on the
I don't
weird
think.
shit.
Yeah, I mean,
You can
I'm
Google
fan.
that,
Jim
maybe that's a
Morrison
real
is
thing.
like Jim Morrison is something. Like he's.
His dad was
I
on the
read his
boat.
biography. No one here gets out alive when I was in high school. Probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "What are you reading that for?"
Yeah.
But he
No,
was
it
real
Don't
big
was,
into the
understand,
mob
mom.
mentality. He was real big into like the mob and like groupthink, I guess is
yeah.
what we would say a lot of what we'd say a lot of today. And that yeah, that really was very I don't know, influential to me at a young age. Yeah, but like Kanye is kind of like that where he tests a lot of our uh like norms, cultural norms, things like that. He's really pushing the button. Um so yeah, maybe okay, yeah, like you said, yeah, like you said, that's a great comparison.
It is. It really is.
Um
Because I'm
I think that is. Yeah, I have to think about that more. But because Jim Morrison kind of had that following that like people you couldn't quite understand. Like people liked him for some because sometimes their concerts were shit too. Like they would just be real weird and like
not supposed to smoke up your skirt, but yeah, that's a good one. I mean, maybe you should tweet that.
you'll see. But like there's been a lot of people like that, I guess, in our culture. A lot of people that have really pushed the boundaries in some ways. But I think Kanye is older than 27. That's the first thing people would say. It's like
Yeah.
about that comparison. They're like, he's alive and he's older than 27.
Sure.
All right.
Being a
So
Kardashian.
you want to talk about couple legal. Let's put our legal hats on. So Harvey
Yeah.
Weinstein got overturned. So it looks like he's going to
Uh,
be freed from a New York prison and sent extradited to a California prison.
Awesome, but he's still serving on a sentence.
Yeah, he was convicted in LA too,
Okay.
which is probably like the reason why they do like where even though the guy's in jail already, they're like, we should convict him too. Because you
yeah,
never know. You never know.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it turns out like the New York there was so he was convicted and his attorney appealed. His attorney shows up on the Megyn Kelly show sometimes. Just seems like a very reputable person and kind of makes the
I
case for
guess
why.
he's Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney or something like that too.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. So Harvey Weinstein appealed,
Mhm.
and an appeals court made up of three women were like, this was an egregious error by the judge.
How so?
Because I guess they just so it came down to two women accused him of, I guess, assault, rape, whatever.
Mhm.
Technically, I don't know technically, not to minimize what their charges were, but these were two women that they were his girlfriend.
Mhm.
Like they were in a relationship. There was lots of emails going back and forth to where after they said that he did these things and just kind of forced them to do these things, that they had emails where they remained girlfriend, boyfriend, which is kind of a tough thing to see. But then the judge let in like every other girlfriend that had a problem with him ever,
Right.
to just go on and on and on for days at a time about how like he was an asshole and all this stuff. Is just like just I'm not even saying it's wrong that this
Like,
guy's in
damn.
prison, but it's like according to our courts, like you're just not allowed to do that stuff. You're not allowed to have like, one person accused of a crime and have everyone unrelated just like pile on the guy.
Yeah, come in
Because
there
you
and
just
say
you
what's
can't
up.
put people in prison because nobody likes them.
What do you mean, man? This is America.
So
This is the
he
land of
may get
opportunity.
tried. Maybe he gets tried and put back in prison, but it's like, no, like the like basically a New York judge wasted a shitload of the people's money,
Mhm.
putting the guy on
Yep.
trial, made all kinds of terrible mistakes that were overturned immediately, like practically immediately, in our legal system, practically immediately.
Seems like a New York thing. Ugh.
Yeah, and then you're like, man, I hate this Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, these New York courts are taking it to him. But then
Yeah.
it's like, well, but I like Donald Trump. and I think he's the best thing for our country coming up soon in this election, but the New York courts are taking it to him as well.
Mhm.
So that may have shaped public opinion to where people were like, well, public opinion had nothing to do with it. As soon as he was convicted, his attorneys appealed. It went to an appeals court of three women, female judges who were like, you got to retry him. Again, just who needs a conspiracy theory when everybody's just incompetent?
Yeah.
Like purposefully incompetent. Like this was happening during the Me
It's
Too era
blatant.
where, where like the judge that was like, so what I hear on this Megyn Kelly show is it's always lawyers, right? So they talk about how judges don't want to be overturned. It's
Right.
like a pride thing.
Right.
But like the judge that threw, that
Bad
like
it's
kind of
not a
real,
consequence thing. Like if they got overturned, like there would be some sort of strike that maybe they didn't have as much fucking power.
like
to
an
go on.
official strike or even like a social strike where all the other judges are just like,
Either
you
one.
suck at being a judge. We don't want to
But
hang
if
out with
you're
you. No,
exactly, if you're
they're
being
not. They're just like, yeah, I would have done the same thing. Fuck that guy, railroad him. Fuck him.
one of Trump's judges was literally Jeffrey Epstein's attorney. Like it's all so corrupt. It's all so weird.
The judge of the New York case now, Mershon, his daughter is Adam Carolla talked about this, but this is just out there. But his Trump's not allowed to talk about it. But his daughter is a Democratic political fundraiser who works for Adam Schiff, who works for all the big name Dems that are campaigning on let's put Trump in jail. Trump's bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever happens in the New York trial will probably get overturned as well because it's so obvious that the judge should recuse himself
Yep.
because he's got a family member that's directly profiting from the escalation of this case.
Right.
And it's not just about conflict of interest; it's an appearance of that. So whatever happens to Trump in this case, it'll be overturned. The country will suffer millions of dollars wasted. anger levels boosted now, and then when he gets off, real boosted anger levels.
I keep asking my
Why?
husband,
Why?
how are you
Why?
gonna feel when Joe Biden wins? I keep asking him that. How are you gonna feel when Joe Biden wins? Like, I mean, I just don't feel like anything is fair anymore. I don't feel like anything is real anymore. I think it's all rigged. So how are we going to feel when Joe Biden wins? How are we
Yeah,
gonna
there are some
feel?
people like myself that are like, yeah, that do feel that jaded.
Yeah.
That it's really for Trump to win. It means that they're kind of okay with him winning because Joe Biden's that bad. That's my hope. My hope is that like you know that the real power players, Obama and his friends, the Clintons and their friends, whoever's running dementia, Joe, like that they realize that things are getting to the point where this might blow up in their face.
Do they?
It's
But here's the thing:
also
do they
weird.
want it to
Like
blow up in their
Biden
face?
winning might not be good. What's that?
They want it to blow up in their face deep down. You think?
Maybe I think one of I think this because if I was them, this is what I'd be thinking. I'd be thinking we got to get Joe Biden a second term, and as soon as he's inaugurated, he has a heart palpitation and he resigns, and Kamala Harris is now the president of the United States. And damn, if
Bro.
she wouldn't be the easiest person to control. I
Yeah,
mean,
Kroll
you
was
think
talking
Joe
about it
Biden's a
with
bad president?
sweetheart Pat Boone today
I
about
need to, I
like
need to finish that. Oh
dumb
my
people.
gosh.
Oh my God, he's such a sweetheart. It's
That was
so
awesome. Yeah, it
wholesome.
was really, that's an interesting, what an
Ooh.
interesting life he's had.
Oh my God. And then they played his song at the end, and I swear to you, it's so
I need to
good.
listen to that.
Yeah. But they
But
talked
yeah,
about that, like the dumbest person. He said that Tucker talked about it's not about good and evil. It's like the dumb people, because dumb people can be persuaded to do stupid shit because they're fucking
oh
dumb.
yeah, I don't think Kamala Harris is like, Kamala Harris wakes up more like, what you want me to do today?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no agenda. There's no
She gives a
agenda on
bad
her
name to
mind.
long face, light skinned bitches with fucked up laughs. Just
Oh man.
Like she doesn't wake up with an agenda like I'm gonna reshape the college education system. Like it's just like, where you want me at today?
Over
no,
here,
no.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, man, if I was them, that would be a wet dream. Is like figure out a way to get Joe Biden elected again, um, and get him to resign immediately, and put Kamala in there, and then name Nancy Pelosi as her vice president. And man, that'd be a dream. But at the same point, it's like they got to understand, like you can only take things too far.
I feel like that's where we're at right now. I think people are just a little bit tired.
Take
I
it that
think people are
far.
Mm,
tired. They're
I mean, that's why
tired.
everybody's getting knocked out on the buses and airplanes, and
New York.
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's why I think all the erratic behavior happens. It's just a symptom of just mass unhappiness, frustration. There's a
Man
video
versus
today of
bear. Everybody's upset with the men.
well, there was a thing today where it's like like you see these videos all the time, like kids and teachers getting into fist fights.
Yeah.
Now, to
What's
be
going
fair,
on?
teachers have always been fighting kids, or vice versa.
Okay,
I mean, not at this.
I saw one today where there was like a fully grown teacher man like
Uh
boxing with what looked like a middle schooler
huh.
who thought he could box, but the grown man, of course, could do it a lot better. This is in Las Vegas. If you look it up, the
I was
Las
gonna say
Vegas
he
substitute
wasn't working
teacher.
on his stance. That's why.
And the boxer and the teacher was just like, watched the fight Saturday night and was like bouncing around and like just clock and like just knocked the shit out of this kid. And it's
That
like,
kid
oh,
oh, started it, first of all. And when the
of
teacher
course he
gave him a
started. Of
little,
course, like
when the
little,
teacher gave him a
of course.
little, like a little WhatsApp, the kid was like, "Oh, you want some?" And then came back in. And then the teacher was like, "Okay." And then finished that little motherfucker off. if I was the parent in that, I would be like, first of all, why does my son think it's okay to fucking attack a teacher? Second of all, when the teacher showed him that he needed to back the fuck up, why did he think that he needed to come back? And third of all, why are you mad when your son got knocked the fuck out when the teacher gave him 2 taps to like back up? I don't know.
Well,
It was black on black. I mean, it
no,
was 2
it was,
black men fighting.
I think it was a Hispanic kid
Okay.
because everybody was like, someone made a joke that little Johnny got knocked out, and someone else was like, "That's little Juan," because it was a Hispanic kid.
Well,
But
you know,
yeah, it was a real a Rorschach test of a video because I think people are like, I saw people that I normally agree with are like, yeah, fuck that kid. You know, like because I think the frustration level has reached the point where it's like, I'm not allowed to go to that kid's house and kick the shit out of their parents. So I'm gonna have to slap this kid.
well, and also you're a substitute teacher. So one, you have no connection to the school. You have no connection to that child. This
Yeah.
child just swinging on somebody who's just filling in. They work 7 days a month, and they got a phone call that morning that the fat fuck that was teaching English that day is not showing up for school. So they just roll in, and then they got Juan coming in with some bullshit and swinging. It's like, oh,
Well,
okay.
just like
Well, let's go, bitch.
just like my response to the man versus bear question, it's like, what are you in the woods for? So I would ask this 27-year-old young man who wants to be a substitute teacher for some reason in the middle school, what is wrong with you? Why? What are you in this
I'm
situation for?
telling you.
Is this lucrative? Like, is this paying a lot? Like,
No,
why
he
are you
got tricked
in?
into going to university and getting a
Yeah,
degree, and now he's a
probably.
substitute teacher.
He's like, I just want to help these kids. Do you? Because they want to kick your ass. You ever seen the movie
You know
187
what?
with Samuel Jackson?
It's so crazy.
Like he's seen that
I
movie and it's like, man, maybe 27-year-old man, maybe this is not the profession for you.
Kids are wild.
They're
Teenagers are
wild.
wild. They are wild. I
Yeah.
worked from kindergarten till 12th grade in my daughter's class. And in 12th grade, I worked the snack bar of her high school. And you cannot believe the wild things that those kids would come up with. Like,
Yeah.
just, they're
I've thought a lot
wild.
about this, and my first thought was, you should leave the kid alone, but then go find the kid's dad, kick his ass in the parking lot.
Yep.
Or smart play would be, okay, Juan, cool. Nah, you win. You're right. And then you write about detention. And then you go to the principal and just like, hey man, I'm looking for, I really want to increase my hours. So tell you what, I'll volunteer to chaperone the after school detention. Right. And like, oh, we really appreciate it because all the other teachers really hate that job. Like, no, I'll watch the delinquent kids. And then it's after school detention, little Juan shows up and it's this guy, substitute teacher, who's you're flipping the cameras off now. That's where this dude's trying to box this kid in the hallway with like 400 kids watching. Everybody's videoing.
That's what I think. I think it was literally just maybe there was a beef in the classroom and the kids started it and it was just visceral. Like, obviously a 26-year-old teacher is from the same age group of everything they said and did has always been right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when this little motherfucker is sliding up, like my mom told me I'm perfect too, bitch. Like, fuck you. And he just kicked his ass.
I'm just like, it's like when humans don't feel hope, they start slapping kids. You can quote me, but like, yeah, because like if this dude was like, I'm this close, if this guy was like, I'm this close to getting the full-time science teacher job. I love science. I love beakers. I love test tubes. Love it.
Bunsen burners.
then he would have been like, I'm gonna let this kid slide, but he's like, nah, I don't really have hope for a full-time gig here. I'm gonna knock this kid out.
Fuck it, it's on.
So yeah, it's like when there's no like that's where it all goes down. That's where it all goes wrong. Well, like
Yeah.
when the feminists in that crazy group get all upset and like hateful, it's like they just have no hope. They don't have hope for a happy relationship with someone of the opposite sex. When kids turn to like crime and slinging drugs at an
Add me to
early
that
age, they
group.
have no hope.
I need to know if I relate with those women more than you.
Or which
I
other
don't
women?
know. I don't know.
Add me.
You
I'll
kind of
think about that.
left us in suspense there.
Yeah, I need to know. Add me, please.
Oh, okay.
I want in. Keith, one of our happy hour people also wants in, so put it
Tricky.
on your
It's
list. We won't like associate
uh,
ourselves with you. Like we won't like
no, I don't care. I
log
think
on to
there's a
your
lot of
posts.
people. I think it's one of those groups that actually is really big. There's not a lot of people that comment, but there's tons of ladies that are like hearting and liking all the total agreement with everything. Again, I look at it from just it's an educational thing.
Mhm.
I have daughters.
Yeah.
I want to understand them better. Wife, I want to understand her better.
Yeah.
And
That's smart.
and now I don't understand them better. I'm just more afraid of them. So
I think that fear is
Your
just going
daughter,
to
they're
increase
scary.
as time progresses.
They're
your
scary.
daughters. Oh
They're
yeah,
scary.
you
They're
should
all
be
real scary.
terrified. Yeah. Yep. Oh, teenagers, the worst. Yeah. You're
Well,
about to be in the thick of it, brother.
But yeah, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Manny.
no, you continue. Sorry.
I was about it. I was just gonna. There's one other court case that I think is wild. That's going on that is difficult for people to comprehend. That the Supreme Court is hearing a case on whether or not the president of the United States should have essentially immunity, total immunity
From criminal
from
prosecution,
prosecution, other than
Donald Trump.
impeachment.
Oh, okay.
So it's really interesting because I mean I'm gonna vote for Trump. I want Trump to win. I want him to get off all this shit. I want him to get us back on the right track. I think he's the best tool. To me, he's the best tool to do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's not my personal hero or anything like that. He's the best tool for us to get back on track. Um, like I don't know, I forgot what I was gonna say, but the I don't know, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. The
It's Friday, Craig.
I know. But though there's a case, so
Yeah.
the case that
Community
Trump's
case.
attorneys are making is that he should be immune from any prosecution outside of impeachment because if the president is not immune, then every president can be charged by every DA, county DA, city DA, small, big, medium, large, all over the country can just be charged with unlimited crimes.
Yeah.
And in theory, not that people would do that,
Sure.
but they think about it in theory that like, well, what if everybody did? Like, what if this just became the norm that once Joe Biden leaves office, that the Dallas County judge just, district attorney
Yeah.
decides to go after him for
sure.
something he did in Afghanistan. And they were kind of talking about how, well, that would be pretty bad, but then on the Biden or government side, they were like, well, no, a president can't have full immunity because like what if the president decides that as an official act of president that his political rival is a spy and must be killed.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, that's pretty heavy. And I guess the Trump side is like, well, still that has to go like the Congress and Senate have to impeach that president, or but yeah, it's really like a really fascinating, I think, political, philosophical debate going on that is really critical for the future of mankind, for the United States, this country, at this point, like the world superpower
Mhm.
or influence for good, at least. Um, it's really big. So I think what the Supreme Court has said is that they realize how big it is. They realize how both sides have some really good points. And the Supreme Court has said that they're going to need to sit down and think about some um, creating some kind of test to determine like what's the difference between a president acting in an official capacity and what's him acting as like just a regular person.
Slippery slope.
Maybe.
I see this as a slip. No, just fine.
So it's really behind the scenes, like just like a huge thing going on, huge implications for the future of our country. I'm kind of
I have a
fascinated. I don't
quick
know.
question.
I'm fascinated by it because it's like
What inspired this
it's
move?
what's that?
What inspired this move to implement, immunity for presidents?
Well, I think that they're going back to the early days where the founders were like, if a president, I guess they didn't really say what's going to happen if Donald Trump in 2024 does, they didn't really say that. So I think they're trying to read into what was their intention. Was their intention that for this office, it is so unique that it's above like, your county district attorney. It's for this office is so unique that if it's going to be prosecuted for some crimes, it has to be done by the Senate, or the Congress and Senate together to impeach the president. And it also uh, putting it in that place requires not just like a jury of random people. It requires like what 60% of the Senate to say yes, impeach.
Mhm.
So Congress can impeach pretty easily, but in the Senate, to criminally or like prosecute or impeach or convict, I guess you would have to have 60%. So that's a pretty high bar. Um, but I guess they're kind of talking about it because like that's how you would have like for Donald Trump and January 6th and the 2020 election and all that stuff. The Congress and Senate can impeach him for these crimes, and they're saying it was their job to do that. They kind of tried real quick, but they failed
Mhm.
because again, it's a high bar. But that's what Trump's side is saying. This is like that's the body that prosecutes President Trump for whatever. And they tried and they couldn't do it. Not, a district attorney or like a rigged jury in New York City. Where literally like 87% of Manhattan voted for Joe Biden. And that's the jury pool in New York City on these weird bogus charges that are just that's a whole nother.
Feels like New York has made such a flip though. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
Right?
we talked
Doesn't
about
it
that.
feel like they've made quite a flip?
They might come quite a flip, or it's like I feel like people should be a little bit more mad at New York beyond like the, country folk that are just like, screw them big city folk,
Yeah.
like regular people, maybe like in like, cities like Dallas
Understandably.
or Richmond or
Yeah.
um,
Sacramento.
Modesto or like should be
Ooh,
a little bit more mad at like,
for
y'all
sure.
are like, not only are you wasting a bunch of your own money, you're wasting a bunch
Yeah.
of our money and you're kind of like really fucking like your stupid shit is like, like really messing up our country. I don't
Big
know.
time.
But I get it. But at the same time, it's like New York is like, it's kind of like
They're romanticized.
California. It's more of an industrial California. Like it's romanticized in the way that California beaches and Hollywood is
For sure.
romanticized. Like it has a draw.
1,000,000%.
But
Yep.
yeah, people should be a little bit more aggravated. But then again, you see like that construction worker that's said fuck you to Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I guess
The
that reminds
best.
us that yeah, not everybody.
Still feel them out there.
But those guys don't live in
Yeah.
Manhattan. They live like way off in Long Island or Staten Island, like far away.
Man, that's
Yeah.
why
Well, not very far away as the crow flies, but like far away traffic wise to where, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they live in another country. But yeah, it's a big case. Oh, anyway, ultimately, what it's going to do is because the Supreme Court said that we need time to like work out this new system to like really figure out. That's probably going to delay. That'll delay that case.
Yeah.
The federal case against him that'll delay it till after the election. The New York case, who knows what's going to happen there? Probably a mistrial, I think.
What's
'Cause
the probability of that actually happening in Mistral?
I think at this point, if one more, they've got to be careful because like Trump is every day, Trump is like violating the gag order,
Right.
right? So there's like that is part of it every day. They've already had jury members like bail, like say, I don't want to be part of this. I think that they, um, maybe I'm wrong. I think that they can't afford to lose any more jurors or something like that.
Okay.
So it could really turn into a total shit. Like it could go fast, it could go bad for Trump, I guess, but it could also just turn into a total shit show where um, Trump starts mouthing off more,
Right.
Yeah. Always
and
the
then they
possibility.
start spending even like more and more time every day. Like instead of actually trying the case with witnesses, they spend more and more time like arguing about the gag order.
So this case is about something that happened before he was elected president, right? Like they shushed up the assumption that he had slept with Daniels. Is that right? Like it happened. That's what this is about.
Hard to
Is
explain.
it
It's
is it
really
the same as like the sequestering of the laptop? Like is it the same? Like is it apples to apples in that type of like we're gonna shush this down type
um
thing? Like yes, the government shushed down the laptop, but is it kind of the same thing? Like before we got elected, we were shushing this down.
no, there's a little bit of that because it is about like part of this case is um they're trying to make they're trying to make it illegal for a politician who was a friend at a newspaper to like for that friend at the newspaper to help them in some way. Like,
Right. Okay.
but
Gotcha.
that's never going to be illegal. It's not illegal. It's never going to be illegal. But
Yeah, for sure.
they're really focusing on that because they feel like, well, I mean, this whole trial is really just to make Trump look bad every day.
Right.
And the end goal, despite all the morons out there, the end goal is never to put him in jail or even have him on house arrest. The end goal is during this election year, we need to have him dragged through the mud as much as possible. Right or wrong, because he's got plenty of things he's done that are probably not proud of,
I
whatever,
think
but
it's working against them, but yeah, for sure.
it's hard to say. It's really hard. It really is hard to say. I guess that's kind of like the fascination of politics is like it really is. You can be dominating, right? You can be just rolling and just, but like you just take it too far, and everybody that like all of a sudden all this like hatred towards Trump or like the neutral people that were kind of against Trump,
Right.
like all of a sudden they're just like, oh, hold on here, you're gone too far. Now we're kind of sympathetic towards him. So it's really it can flip. But the whole case in New York is well, without a doubt, no matter what happens, if he gets convicted, it'll get overturned. Because they're saying it's
Waste of time and money. It's so crazy.
they're saying it's something like it's so hard to explain because it doesn't make sense. They're
Yeah.
saying that he did a misdemeanor by messing up like falsifying accounting book records. But it's not really clear that that was even correct because he just put down legal expenses and it was all handled through a lawyer. So that kind of technically is correct. But they're saying that that misdemeanor bookkeeping case in New York law turns into a felony if that bookkeeping misdemeanor was to do a felony.
So
But then everybody's saying, well, what's the felony? And they're not really saying what the felony is. Like, so it's kind of It's a weird thing where you broke a rule that's usually a misdemeanor, but
Is it
because
like
you
some sort
broke
of
a
metaphysical rule or some shit like that? It's just like
no, it's like a legal rule. You're not allowed if you do a bookkeeping error, it's a slap on the wrist.
right.
But if you do a bookkeeping error to commit murder, now not only is the murder felony, but now the bookkeeping error
It's
Is
also
it also
is
part of
also a felony bookkeeping error.
because you were
But there has to be a
frauding?
felony that it led to. And what they're saying is that it was a federal election crime that bookkeeping error led to.
Mhm.
But the Federal Election Commission's already said there's no crime. Like hush money to a hooker, fair, whatever, is just not a crime. It's not a crime. It's not an election offense or anything like that. Because if you
And don't her and Trump will say that there's didn't happen.
what's that?
Not a crime.
Say that
Didn't
again?
her and Trump say that it didn't happen?
They said there wasn't an affair.
Right.
But it's yeah, but at the same time, it's like I don't know what you call it, but it's like we kind of all know that's bullshit too. So that like using bullshit to combat the bullshit doesn't always work, you know,
Yeah.
because there's a letter that she wrote that said this never happened, but it's
Right.
like it's pretty obvious to everybody, like everybody at this point that it did. But another part of the case is that they are trying to make NDAs illegal.
Why?
So it's like
Because they're figuring that they just don't work, or it's just like, what's the point? Or
I don't know. I get well if I was
because it
in power,
encourages illicit behavior, or what?
if I was in power, right, and I wanted to keep my power and I had no ethics or morals, whatever, I would make rules like I can have secrets, but the two of you can't have secrets.
Yeah.
You're in no position to have secrets.
It's like no, I can have them, but you can't. And you're just like, well,
Yeah.
that's not fair. It's like, well, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it? You know, it's
Word.
that's kind of where we're at this point with it. But it's so it's gonna get thrown out
Uh-huh.
because it's so hard to even explain to people. I would be surprised if the jury does not convict him because it's an even if they're biased, it's still an ask. It's still a real tall ask
Uh-huh.
for them to be like just lay down, like throw down all of your intellect and just convict. That's a tough one. But I don't know. We'll see. I think we just get started. So there's a lot of months left between now and the election.
My God, so many months left.
So much time for
Oh,
Who knows what type of weird shit's gonna
so
happen.
many things.
and anyway, and else we'll be here to cover it
Yeah.
because I think
Give everybody the rundown.
just like us, it's quantity over quality. Everybody.
That's
Like,
right. Word.
Speak for
Happy
yourself, man.
Friday.
About
Deep-
quality over quantity, damn it.
you're right. You're right. Just well, the
Try
two,
to.
me and Quantum. But like,
Yeah.
yeah. So the deep, like 2016, they were just like Russian spy.
Right.
They were just
Yeah.
like one. They were just on one thing. You know, 2024 is going to be just layer upon layer of crazy Israel, Palestine, college campuses,
UFOs.
Trump trial.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't got started on UFOs.
Oh, yeah.
Lost civilization gonna be popping up, talking about how they're for
Yep.
Biden.
Giants. Giants.
Yeah, lost
Giants.
civilization here. Yeah, we seeded the planet before the ice age, and we're for Biden.
By the way,
Have
Uncle
you heard
Buff.
about the ice? Is it, you know what? I'll save it for next week. Never mind.
Okay. We've already overloaded people with too much content.
It's pretty late, or else I would be like, no, tell us no.
I think it's a good note to end on. to
And
be honest with
wrestling a
you.
puppy. He's about to have some zoomies.
Yeah, I need to go see what my dog's up to.
And start a fire.
Yeah.
That
In
too,
the
for
hole
sure.
that she dug.
I've been keeping it. She's been good lately. A couple weeks. She's been good for a couple weeks.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
we've been
good.
on high alert. High alert.
Don't let your guard down.
Well,
my
happy
friend.
Fridays, you fools.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy
Except
Friday, Friday.
you've already, unless you know you're on the list.
Yeah, we have a list. You know who you are.
Do what you want. Get it on, everybody.
Yes, sir. Do what you want. Get it on.